Hi guys, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make the butterfly riptide shawl. And for this project I used a 1,000-meter skein from Yarn Art, and if you want any information on how to get yarn like that, you can find it on the pattern page. There'll be a link there. Also, I'm using a 4mm hook or size G hook with this yarn. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be using a 5mm hook and worsted weight yarn, which is 4-ply for the US, 10-ply for Australia. But that's just for the tutorial. I used the 4mm hook and the yarn cake to make this shawl. Now, when I originally started making this pattern, I was hoping that me and my daughter both could wear it, but with the thicker stitching on this yarn, it ended up being smaller than I had hoped. So it fits her perfectly, so it's child size. And I'm gonna work on a wrap or something like that for us adults next. Trying to make something warmer, since I can't really do a shawl. It would be too small with this stuff. Okay, so the shawl ended up measuring 87 centimeters wide, or 34 inches wide, and tall. From just the measuring from the neck down to the end of the shawl, it was 46 centimeters or 18 inches. And the gauge for this shawl is 2 stitches per centimeter or 5 stitches per inch. So go ahead and grab your yarn and hook and we'll get started. Okay, to begin the shawl, you want to start by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Now in the very first chain, you want to put 8 double crochets in that very first chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that chain 2 at the beginning will count as your first stitch. So you should have a total of 9 stitches. For row 2, you want to chain 2 and turn. This chain 2 we did will also count as the very first double crochet of our row. So in the very first stitch, we want to put 1 double crochet. Now in the rest of your stitches, you want to put 2 double crochets. We're going to be doubling our stitches. Don't forget to put 2 in that chain 2 at the end of your row. And at the end of this row, you should have 18 stitches. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you at the end of this row. Be sure to count your stitches. Okay, for row 3, you want to chain 1 and turn. Now we want to put a front post double crochet worked on the very first post of the row. So we'll work a front post double crochet there. Then you're going to skip the very next stitch, and then the one after that, you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all worked in the same stitch. And like I always say for my shawl videos, this is the most important row, to make sure that you take your time and you skip the correct stitches. Okay, so I put my 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in this one. You want to skip, make sure that that you know which one you're in here. Skip the next one, and the following one you'll put another front post double crochet. And you're going to repeat this for the row. Skip the next one, and then in the following one you'll put 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Be making our peaks here. And again, find the stitch in the post that's coming out of. Make sure you're skipping the correct one, and then the following one you'll put a front post double crochet on. And then you'll continue that down your row. Skip the next one, and then the following one you'll put your 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Then you'll skip 1 and then front post double crochet. And you'll continue that for your row. After your last peak, you'll skip the very next stitch, and then you'll have 1 double crochet and a chain here. We're going to ignore this chain. We're just going to be working with the post of the next double crochet, and you're going to put your final front post double crochet on that one. Now you want to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to be working a back post, and I cannot do a back post on the first one. So it's just going to be a front post, but the rest will be back post. So put a post stitch on this first post stitch, and now we're on our first peak. You can see the 2 double crochets on either side, and then that chain 1 in the middle. We're going to be working not in the stitches, but in between these first 2 double crochets, and we're going to put 2 double crochets in that space in between those 2 double crochets. Just 2 double crochets, no chaining. Now we're in our chain 1 space, which is our peak, and we'll work that the same way as we did last time. We'll put 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. Then we're going to do the same thing that we just did between our other 2 double crochets, and we're going to put in the space between these 2 double crochets, you'll put 2 double crochets in there. Then that will bring us up to our front post double crochet that we have here, and we're going to be working a back post on there. So you want to yarn over going from here and push back and do your back post. Ooh, I lost a loop somewhere. And then you'll repeat this for the round. I'm sorry, for the row. So you're going to find your next peak, and again you're going to work that the same. You're going to put 2 double crochets in between these first 2 double crochets. Then the chain 1 space in our peak here, we're going to work that the same way by putting 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then again between the next 2 double crochets we're going to put 2 double crochets. Then when we get done with that peak, it's going to bring us back up to our next post stitch. So we're going to yarn over and do our back post double crochet there. And then it's just going to repeat, putting 2 double crochets in between the 2 double crochets, and then the peak's the same, and you'll continue that for the row. Okay, at the very end of my row, you can see the chain 2 sticking up on the side because the post is kind of hiding behind here. So yarn over and go in between the chain 2 and the post, and you'll be able to do your back post double crochet on that last one. And that will end row 4. For row 5, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to do a front post double crochet on the post of the very first post, the back post double crochet we did last time. And then we're going to be working in this in between these 2 double crochets, and we're going to put, where's it? Okay, so between these 2 double crochets and the 2 double crochets of our peak, there's a space here, and in that space we're going to put a full peak stitch. So we'll put 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets, all worked in that first space in between. Oh, ran out of yarn. Okay, sorry about that. So now in the peak stitch, we'll put a peak stitch, just like we just did. 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then 2 double crochets, all worked in that same stitch. And then now that brings us up to our 2 double crochets of our peak and the 2 double crochets we did last time. So you're going to skip 2 double crochets, and in the space between you're going to put another peak stitch. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. That'll bring us up to our front post here. So we're going to work our front post double crochet to end that repeat. And you can see we did 3 full peak stitches in this first section. So we're going to do that again. Again, you're going to skip the first 2 double crochets, and working in that space, you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. And then in our peak stitch, in our chain 1 space here, you're going to make your peak by doing your 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Then again, you'll skip 2 double crochets, and in that space in between, you'll do another peak stitch. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. And then that will bring you back up to your front post double crochet. So you want to do that 2 more times, and I'll see you at the end of row 5. Okay, I'm just ending with my last peak stitch here, and then again you want to do a front post. So I'm just gonna, since it's kind of connected, the chain and the front post, I'm just gonna go under both the chain 2 and the front post and do my last front post double crochet on that row. And that ends row 5. Okay, for row 6, you want to chain 2 and turn. And this chain 2 will count as your first double crochet. Now in this first back post double crochet, in the stitch of the back post double crochet, not on the post, in the stitch, you want to put 3 more double crochets in there. With that chain, beginning chain 2, it counts as a total of 4 stitches in this first. So when you put your 3 double crochets in there, move over to your very first peak stitch, the chain 1 space. So you'll skip 2 double crochets in this first chain 1 space here. You're going to do a V stitch. You're going to do a double crochet, chain 3, and then a double crochet, all worked in that same stitch. And you're going to do that for all your peak stitches, this one and this one. The next 2 chain 1 spaces. In the center of our peaks, you're going to do a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. Find my next one here, double crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. Now so much easier to flip it if you need to see where your posts are running down this row. In the stitch of the post, just like we did here on the end, so not on the post, but in the stitch of the post, we're going to put 4 double crochets, all worked in the stitch of the back post double crochet we have here. And then that's how you'll work the row. So we have our 3 peak stitches here again with our chain, on our chain 1 spaces of our peak stitches. We'll put a double crochet, chain 3, and then double crochet. Do that 2 more times. Double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. 1 more time. And then that brings us up to our back post double crochet we have here, and in the stitch of that back post double crochet, again you will put 4 double crochets into that stitch. Then just move on over to your chain 1 space of your peak and start your V stitch, which for this pattern is a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. It's one of those fast rows. Though I'm sure some of you are like, slow down. I'm sorry. Okay, and then again I come up to my back post, and I'll put 4 double crochets worked in the stitch of that back post double crochet. Then again, you'll continue putting your V-stitches here, and in the very end of your row in the stitch, you will put 4 double crochets. Okay, that was the end of row 6. So to begin row 7, and row 7 and row 8 are the 2 repeat rows. So if you want to go through this again with me, remember where you are in the video right now. That way you can find me again real quick. Okay, so for row 7, you want to chain 2 and turn. This chain 2 will count as the first stitch. So that chain 2 will count as a double crochet for this first double crochet. Now for the second double crochet of the row, you're going to put a double crochet in the top of that stitch. And that should bring you to the middle. Remember, we did 4 double crochets here last row to split where you have 2 and 2, and in the space in between, you'll put 2 double crochets in there, right in that space. And then now you have your 2 double crochets beside it that you'll now need to put 1 double crochet in each one of those double crochets. And then that'll bring you up to your first V-stitch. So you want to yarn over, and we're going to be doing a marshmallow stitch. Okay, so you want to grab up that very first post and put a front post double crochet on it. Now in the chain 3 of this V-stitch, you'll put 3 double crochets, chain 1, so that's 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then another 3 double crochets worked all in the same chain 3 space. Okay, now we're going to do the very first double crochet decrease of our row. So you'll yarn over, you'll grab up that next post of your V-stitch. Remember, the first V-stitch you did the first part of the V-stitch you did a front post double crochet. Now in the second part of that same V-stitch, that's the post you'll grab up, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through 2 of your loops, leaving 2 loops on your hook. Then you'll come over and find the first post of your next V-stitch, yarn over and pick that up, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then yarn over and pull through 3 loops. Then you're in your chain 3, and again you're going to work it like you did before. You'll put 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all worked in this chain 3 space. So that's 3 double crochets, chain 1. Move your stitches over to the side if you need to. And then again, between our next 2 V-stitches here, we're going to be doing another decrease. So grab up that second post of your V-stitch you just worked on, pull up a loop, only pull through 2 of the loops, yarn over, go into the first post of your next V-stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And then work your chain 3 space the same as you did before. 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets. And then the post of your last V-stitch here, you're going to put a front post double crochet. So you only do a front post double crochet on the first and the second one, but the spaces between the V-stitches you'll be doing a double crochet decrease. So now that comes up back up to our what do I call this, the increasing part of our shawl, because these will always be the same. You always work these the same. So this is where you'll be doing your increasing to make your shawl bigger, or these double crochets. You have 4, you'll work them the same way you did at the beginning. The first 2 double crochets you'll put a double crochet, and as it expands it'll be 3 next time, and then 4, and you'll just continue to put 1 double crochet in between until you reach that very center space. And when you do, you'll put 2 double crochets in that space. And then double crochet in your remaining double crochets on the other side of that middle space. And I usually put a marker. I'll go into my space from below and then up to my new space. That way when I can just double crochet all my double crochets, because you'll end up getting quite a lot as this grows. You'll put 1 double crochet in each one of those, and then when you reach that marker space, you can put your 2 double crochets in there, and then you'll continue to put your double crochets in your following stitches. And as you can see here, for the next row, there'll be 3 double crochets on this side and 3 double crochets on this side, because every 2 double crochets you add in the middle here will become the double crochets you'll use to expand the next round. But you'll always find that space in the center to put 2 more for the next row. And when you get done with that, it will bring you back up to your marshmallow stitch side. And again, you'll grab up that post of the very first V-stitch here and work a front post double crochet. Then in the chain 3 space, you'll work your 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets all in the same chain 3 space. Then we'll start our double crochet decreases by yarning over and grabbing up the second post of our first V-stitch, pulling only through 2, yarn over, grab up the post of the next V-stitch, and finish your double crochet decrease. And then you'll do your 3 double crochets. And I'll show you the decrease on this next one if you need me to show you again. I'll do it slow again for you. So you'll put 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Then again you'll yarn over, going through that next front post of your, the second post of your V-stitch. So you'll yarn over, pick that up, and then pull through 2. Then you'll yarn over, go into the first post of your next V-stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And then complete your next V-stitch by doing your 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 double crochets all worked in the same stitch. And then this will be your last one. So in the very last of your V-stitch, your post here, you'll just put a regular front post double crochet on that. And that'll bring you to your increase area again. These first 2 double crochets, you'll put 1 double crochet in each one of those. That'll bring you to your middle space. Put 2 double crochets in that middle space. And then 1 double crochet into the stitch of the next 2 double crochets. And that'll bring you back up to your V-stitches again, where you'll front post on the very first front post, and then you'll put your 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Two and 3. Then again you'll yarn over, grab up the second post of your V-stitch, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Then yarn over, go into the first post of your next V-stitch, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Then you'll work your 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. And you'll continue to do this till you reach the end of your row, and I will see you at the end of row 7. Okay, I'm just finishing my last front post double crochet, which brings me to my final 4 here. So I'm going to double crochet 1 in the next 2. Then in this next space in between, I'll put my 2 double crochets, then double crochet in the next double crochet, and then don't forget to do your second double crochet here in the top of the chain 2, ending chain 2, and that will end row 7. So for row 8, which is the second row of the repeat, you want to chain 1 and turn. You want to do a front post double crochet on the very first 3 posts. 1, 2, and 3. And why the first 3 only? It's because there's a total of 6. So you'll do 3, then you'll have your middle space where you'll put your new increase. So I'm going to put 2 double crochets worked in that next space here after that last front post double crochet. And then now we have our next 3 posts to do our front post double crochet on. So 3 front post double crochets, work your increase by putting your 2 double crochets in the center, and then complete your increase area by doing your front post for the rest. Now next row, as you can see, because you just added 2 more double crochets in the middle, it'll be 4 stitches now before you work your 2 double crochets in this space. So just keep seeing how what I'm talking about how adding your 2 double crochets here every row will increase each section before your middle stitch by 1 stitch. And that's how it'll be when you continue. And every time you come up to your marshmallow stitch again, you're going to find the center. You have 3 marshmallow stitches here. You'll find that center, because remember you did 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So find that first double crochet, that first chain 1 space, and then you'll put your V-stitch like you did in the previous row. You're setting up your marshmallow stitches for the next row. So you'll put 1 double crochet, chain 3, and then 1 double crochet all worked in that stitch. Find your next chain 1 space in the middle of your next marshmallow stitch and put double crochet, chain 3, double crochet into that chain 1 space. And do that one more time for your 3rd and final marshmallow stitch. And then it'll bring you back up to your increase section here. Remember, we're dealing with 3 double crochets before you reach the middle this time. And I really highly recommend that if you want to make it more mindless to do, you mark that middle stitch. Once you get the hang of it, you'll only have to move up your marker every 3-4 rows. Then and once you put your 2 double crochets in that center stitch, you'll continue with your front post double crochets onto your next 3 double crochets. And then that'll bring you back up to your marshmallow section again, where in the chain 1 spaces here, you'll put your double crochet, chain 3, double crochets, worked in each one of the chain 1 spaces of your marshmallow stitches. And this is my 3rd one here. And then you'll continue by doing your front post double crochets onto your 3 front post double crochets. You're onto your double crochets. Then you'll put your 2 double crochets in the middle space, and then in your next 3 double crochets on the post of them, you'll put your front post double crochets. And you can see by doing those front post double crochets, you're creating this texture here. So then it'll bring you up to your marshmallow stitches again, where you'll put your V stitches in there. Double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, 2, 3. And then you're just going to continue that for the row. You're prepping your marshmallow stitches for the next row. And then again, I know it can be hard to find where your thing starts, but if you just use your finger to feel where that front post is, you know that that's the end. And you'll skip that front post. And you'll just move on over to this very first double crochet. So it's the very first double crochet after your back post from last row that you'll start your front post double crochets. So we have 6 total stitches. So I just did front post double crochets on the first 3. Then middle space you'll put 2 double crochets, and then again you'll work a front post double crochet on the next 3 stitches. And then that will bring you back up to your marshmallow stitch sections where you'll put your double crochet, chain 3, double crochets, and the chain 1 spaces. So go ahead and continue to do that, and I'll see you at the end of row 8. Just finishing up row 8, put my 2 double crochets in my center stitch. Then I need to do my 3 front post, and on the last chain here will be your 3rd front post, and then that will end row 8. And then now it's just a repeat of row 7 and 8, and I'll show you real quick how you would begin the next row, just to refresh your memory. You'll always chain 1 from now on and turn. Actually, you'll chain 2 and turn. On rows where you have to do your double crochets, when you're facing what I call the front, where you can see the marshmallow stitches and the texture of your increase area, then you know that that's the front. So when you're on your front side, you'll chain 2, and that will count as your very first double crochet of your row. Then you'll yarn over and put a double crochet in your next double crochet as well. And then you're going to continue to put a double crochet until you reach your center. And you can see on this row it really sticks out because of the texture that's there. You can tell easily that this was your increase. So you're going to be adding one of those double crochets into your double crochets before your increase again. So you'll double crochet in the first of the increase, and then now you're going to be using the space in between to do your increase for this row. And then now you have your next double crochet of your increase from last row. You'll put a double crochet in that, and then the following 3 stitches. And as you can see, hopefully this is sticking out of this one. So you'll be adding this one and this one to the in-between next time and working your 2 double crochet increases there, and you'll have an increase of, you'll have 5 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the next row. So continue to, on the front side, always work in the stitch, no front post, just in the stitch till you reach your middle. Put your 2 double crochets in the middle, then double crochet in the remaining till you come back up to your marshmallow stitch area, and again you'll yarn over, pick up that very first post of your V-stitch and do a front post double crochet, and then you'll work your V-stitches the same by putting 3 double crochets, chain 1, then 3 double crochets, all worked in that same chain 3 space. And then now between your sections, between your 2 V-stitches here, remember we're going to be doing our decreases there. So you'll yarn over, grab the post of the same V-stitch we're working on to start your double crochet decrease, then yarn over, grab up the post of your next V-stitch, then you'll be completing it. And then you'll work your V-stitches the same. So you want to continue to do that all the way to repeat. And then again, when you turn and you do repeat of row 8, remember you'll be doing front post double crochets. So on the double crochets here, you'll be doing a front post double crochet on the first 4 stitches, and then you'll add your, 5 stitches, right? Find that center stitch here, there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll have 5 stitches next time. You'll put front post on all 5 of these, put your increase in the middle, and then front post on the next. And then you'll be creating your V-stitches again in the tops, and the chain 1 spaces of the V-stitch, the marshmallow stitches that you're making now. And it'll just be an ongoing repeat again and again and again. You can find this pattern ad-free with pictures on either of my shops, and you can find the free pattern on my site. But if you can find all those links down below to the free pattern and to the pattern on either of my shops. Don't forget, if you like this video, please don't forget to like and share. Also, if you want to always be notified whenever I release a new tutorial, you can click that little bell button next to my subscribe button on my main page to always be notified whenever I release a new tutorial. Also, I want to tell you about my 2 groups I have on Facebook. One is called Crochet Zone Public, and the other is called Crochet for the Masses. Crochet for the Masses is more of a private group, and Crochet Zone Public, even other designers will post their new designs there. Paid and free, both there. I also have a Pinterest, community Pinterest board where many designers will post links to free patterns only. No spam on this board, so I recommend that if you are sick of all the spam on Pinterest and you're looking for at least one place you can go to get free patterns posted by the designers themselves, that's the place to go. Also, I now have a newsletter, and every time I release something, I do a newsletter blast, so you can always find out what my newest project is. So I recommend, if you want to keep on with what I'm doing and see what's going on with me, then you can find that really easily on the link down below this video. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching.